الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. To proceed. So to continue our analysis of the story of Khalilullah Ibraheem عليه الصلاة والسلام. And the next sentence is وَذَهَبَ النَّاسُ وَبَقِيَ إبراهيم في البيت. Right. وذهب الناس وبقي إبراهيم في البيت. What type of harf is what? Yeah, Muhammad, you should know this.
ظروف, I think it's called.
Zarf. Is that connecting?
حرف الظرف.
حرف العطف.
عطف.
It's going to be harfu al-atfi or it's going to be harfu al-istinaf. The difference between them is that harfu al-atf connects this sentence with what preceded it, right? And if it's harfu istinaf, then it doesn't. It's just a continuation of the text. Right? Remember that's the distinction. So for example, if I say أكلت لحما وخبز خبزا. أكلت لحما وخبزا. This waw here is what type of waw? Yeah, Muhammad.
It's continuing.
Harful atf. It's the purpose, its function is to connect the ismun that follows it, which is called the
حرف عطف.
No, ya Muhammad. What's the ism called that follows the waw? Ma'tufun. This is the ma'tufun to connect it to the ism that preceded it, which is called the ma'tufun عليه, which we did in great detail.
I need to memorize.
Yes. Right, and its function is that the ma'tufun, the ism which is the ma'tufun that follows the harf al-atf, follows the one that preceded it in the i'rabun and in the hukmun. Meaning, because lahman is in what state, ya shabazu? Mansubun. Therefore, khubzan has to be mansubun. Right? And because lahman is the thing, the maf'ulun bihi, i.e. the thing that akaltu, I ate, then khubzan also is the thing that I ate. Right? That is harful atf. But the other one, harful istinaf, right? Akaltu al-lahmu wa الطالب خرج من البيت right? This wall here والطالب خرج من البيت, what does that mean? والطالب خرج من البيت,
and the student, he went
Right.
to the house.
Okay, وَالطَّالِبُ خَرَجَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ, and the student exited from his house. If we say that this waw is now waw al-istinaf, then it means that we're just continuing the text, right? There's no connection between these two sentences, right? Except what's interesting here, and this is a bit of a digression, is this part, وَالطَّالِبُ خَرَجَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ, is a type of maf'ulun. What type of maf'ulun is it? It's maf'ulun,
فيه.
not fihi, ma'ahu. We haven't discussed this in any great detail, but maf'ulun ma'ahu is the maf'ulun which describes what happened whilst I perform my action. A more simple example of that is, and we don't really want to talk about this, but we'll do it anyway, is سافرت. We'll change this. خرجت من البيت right, والشمس تغرب. خرجت من البيت means I exited from the house. والشمس تغرب means, what does غروب الشمس mean?
The
Setting. The sun is setting. So, right, خرجت من البيت, I exited from the house, and what was happening whilst I exited from the house? The sun was setting. Right, so here أكلت لحما, I ate meat. والطالب خرج من البيت, and what was happening when I ate the meat? الطالب خرج من البيت, the student exited from the house. Right? But anyway, the point to note is there's the waw. That's why we wanted to mention that. So, here we have وَذَهَبَ النَّاسِ وَبَقِيَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ فِي الْبَيْتِ.
So that maf'ulun ma'ahu, there's no rules on it or anything like that, it's just that it's a maf'ulun ma'ahu.
Yes, that is considered to be a maf'ulun ma'ahu that describes what happened at the time that you perform that action. Okay? So back to our first sentence, وَذَهَبَ النَّاسِ. ذَهَبَ means
he went.
he exited, or he went. Yeah, he went. And nasu is therefore the fa'ilun. The fa'ilun is always marfu'un. Wa baqiya. What does baqiya mean?
And remained.
He remained. Ibraaheem is therefore the
مفعول.
There is a fa'ilun as well. And he remained.
Yeah.
wa baqiya Ibraaheem fil bayt.
Ibraaheem.
So Ibraaheem is the
Fine.
fa'ilun fil bayti is,
مفعول.
well, it is maf'ulun bihi biwasatati al-harf, the fa, or the fi rather. Fil bayti, that's a harfu jarrin, and then this is ismu majrur. Fil bayti. وذهب الناس وبقي إبراهيم في البيت means,
And the people went, and Ibrahim remained in the house.
good Muhammad, you stopped translating it and he remained, then saying Ibraaheem. Don't do it like that. Translators, Ibraaheem remained in the house, right? So, what we need to do, as we seem to be forgetting how to conjugate verbs is that we know what this means. It's simple, right? Every word here we know. Maybe baqiya is less frequently mentioned, but the point is that it's a straightforward sentence, comprises of two jumlatul fi'liyya. So what we need to do is change it from third person to first person. Right? Obviously we can't change dhahaba because then it wouldn't make sense, would it? So we can't say dhahabtu an-nasu. But so we'll leave with dhahaba an-nasu. We want to change wa baqiya and we'll remove Ibraaheem because we want to say I remained. So the I part is now the fa'ilun, right? The ta'u al-fa'il. So how would we say it? Ya Namul Haq. We keep with dhahaba nas.
Yeah. Then I remained in the house.
What?
Aki'u.
No, we want to change it to I remained.
Baqitu
Wa baqitu fil bayti. So say it all, Muhammad.
وذهب
Yes.
وذهب الناس وبقيت في البيت.
Right. ذهب الناس وبقيت في البيت. Right? So now I want to say that my son went to school and I remained in the house.
Waladu.
No, we're going to begin with ذهب, aren't we?
Oh, sorry.
ذهب
ذهب ولد
ibni, my son ibni.
إلى.
Right? ذهب ابني
إلى المدرسة.
إلى المدرسة وبقيت في البيت. وبقيت في البيت. Right? Now that sentence ذهب ابني إلى المدرسة وبقيت في البيت, that is not a simple, a difficult sentence, right? Yeah, sure, but that's not and now you see, can you see the difference between reading that as it's written and understanding it and being able to say it? There's a difference, isn't there? One's a bit more difficult, but how much more difficult is it? We need to be able to change the sentence to take a different meaning based upon the introduction of our own words. So ibni, ibnun is a son. Ibni is my son. Your son is?
Ibnuka.
Ibnuka, his son is?
Ibnuhu.
Ibnuhu, her son is?
Ibnuha.
Ibnuha, and so on and so forth. You follow? So let's change it again and say your son went to the school and my son stayed in the house.
ذهب ابنك إلى المدرسة وبقي ابني في البيت. Good, ya Muhammad. Right? And the more that you practice that, the easier it becomes. Right? And we need to do that because we don't want to forget all the good work that we've already done, which there's a danger of happening if all we do is just write the text, read it, understand it, grammatically we understand it, and then move on to the next sentence. So the next sentence is after fil bayti
وجاء إبراهيم
وجاء إبراهيم
إلى الأصنام
إلى الأصنام
الأصنام
وقال للأصنام
ألا
تتكلمون
ألا تسمعون
right تتكلمون ألا تسمعون question mark even though there is no question mark in Arabic. Right, وجاء إبراهيم إلى الأصنام means
Ibrahim
came to the idol.
right, Ibrahim came to the idols. Right, remember جاء is he came, ذهب is he went. إلى الأصنام because it's the اسم مجرور. Right, إلى الأصنام وجاء إبراهيم إلى الأصنام. Now جاء, he came. We can use a جاء with or without the حرف جر. Right? So for example, you can say جاء محمد البيت. جاء محمد البيت. Or you can say جاء محمد إلى البيت. Most people still use إلى البيت because it seems more natural. Right? But that's still correct. جاء محمد البيت. Like, and it's frequently used in Al-Quran. وَجِئْتُكَ, like the ayah in Surah Naml, وَجِئْتُكَ مِنْ سَبَإٍ بِنَبَإٍ أَذِيمٍ, the statement of the hudhud bird. جِئْتُكَ وَجِئْتُكَ. Remember that we have to also not forget that جِئْتُكَ جِئْتُكَ means
I came to you.
right, I came to you. Note that جاء is a doubly weak verb. Right, because you have alif and hamza, so it changes slightly different. But once you memorize one conjugation, then you apply it to all the others. Right? So we have وَجَاءَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ إِلَى الْأَصْنَامِ وَقَالَ لِلْأَصْنَامِ.
And he said to the
What do you have on the meme? لِلْأَصْنَامِ. Allah, will you not تتكلمون? تتكلمون means
No.
speak. Remember, what's the root of verb? What's kallama? And then we have takallama. What's the difference between kallama and takallama?
Present.
No. Remember, we mentioned this. Kallama and takallama.
he said.
They both mean.
We mentioned this. Very important to remember because they're so frequently used. Remember the ayah that we always say, كَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى. Right, in Surah An-Nisa. Right, كَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى. Right? تكلم. So what does كلم الله موسى mean?
Allah spoke to Musa.
Allah spoke to Musa عليه السلام. So what does تكلم mean? We explained this. تكلم, it means the same. He spoke. But what's the difference? كلم takes a direct object.
Is it non-human? Or
No. كلم takes a direct object. Musa here is the direct object. Okay? But why does Musa not become Musan? Like that?
non-Arabic?
Because it is
Non-Arabic name.
ممنوع من الصرف. Grammatically we say it's ممنوع من الصرف. Right? Why is it ممنوع من الصرف? لمانع, for a hindrance or an obstacle. What's the obstacle? That it ends in alif maksura, and it ends in alif maksura. Actually, there are two reasons. One, it ends in alif maksura, and the second is that it is a non-Arabic name. Right? But that's still the maf'ulun bihi. Okay? And we say that it is, what type of i'rab do we apply to it? Is it al-lafzi, is it al-taqdiri, or is it al-mahalli? Al-taqdiri, good. Remember that rule? Right? It's taqdir, isn't it? It's not mahalli. Why isn't it mahalli?
When it's always like that, for example, haza.
Yeah, but there's another factor.
Mabnoon. That's when it's mahalli, is when it's mabnoon.
Mabniyun. Yeah, but remember the root reason is that there's something that stops it.
Yeah.
There's a mani'un. There's a hindrance that prevents it from becoming mansubun. Lafzi. If it was another name like Muhammad, وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُحَمَّدًا, then it would appear, wouldn't it? So it's not appearing because there's something that prevents it from appearing. Right? تَكَلَّمَ, so the difference in كَلَّمَ and تَكَلَّمَ is?
Direct object.
It doesn't take a direct object, does it? We have to use either be or no, ma'a. We did explain this. So if we were going to use a takallama in this ayah, not that we would, because that's tahrif kalam Allah, but if takallama was used, then it would be takallama Allahu
Ma'a Musa.
right, either ma'a Musa or bi Musa. Let's remember that now, inshallah, because it's important. Allah tasma'un. Tasma'un means?
Hear. You don't hear.
You plural male hear. Right? Okay? So, who wants to change this sentence to make it first person? So not waja Ibraheemu, but I came to the Islam. Okay? I came to the Islam and I said to the idols, will you not speak, will you not hear? Who wants to change that to
Is it
the first person?
Is it ji'tu?
Good, ya Shabaz. So we begin wajitu
Ila al-asnam.
ila al-asnami
And I said, is qultu
wa qultu
lil-asnami.
lil-asnami.
Ala tatakallamuna ala al-asnam.
Right. Ala tatakallamuna ala tasma'un. Right? Good. So, the next sentence is
Haza ta'amun.
هذا
Wa sharab.
طعام
وشراب
ألا تأكلون
ألا تأكلون
ألا تشربون
ألا تشربون تشربون. هذا is
This.
اسم الإشارة. هذا طعام means وشراب.
This fruit.
This is food and drink. Right? That waw, is that waw al-ataf or waw al-isti'naf? Ataf, because it's connecting sharabun to ta'amun, right? Okay. So this is food and this is drink. Ala ta'kaluna. Ta'kaluna means?
You don't eat plural.
No. Forget the Allah. Ta'kaluna is?
You eat.
You, plural,
Male.
eat. Ala tashrabuna.
You plural male drink.
You plural male drink. Right? So, we want to alter this sentence. Now, we want to say, guests came to my house and I said to them, do you want to eat? Do you want to drink? Right? Not that you should say that to your guests and you should just provide it, but for the purpose of Arabic, we'll create the sentence. So how do we say that? Guests came to my house.
What's the word for guest?
Duyufun, guests. And I said to them, do you want to eat? Do you want to drink? Who knows how to say it? No. Guests came to my house. This is all now clear, isn't it? So we'll erase this. How do we say it? How are we going to begin? Ja'a. Right? Ja'a. Duyufun. Duyufun. Ila Bayti. And I said to them, وَقُلْتُ And I said to them,
His home.
Lahum. Remember the use of lam, the harfu jar, to connect to the damir mu'tasil when we're using kultu to convey that meaning to them. وَقُلْتُ لَهُمْ Do you want to eat? No, this next part we should know because we've done it regularly. Hal Do you want to? No, do you want?
I want is
Uridu is I want. But we're talking to plural. Hal turiduna. Right? Hal turiduna. Do you want to eat? No, we need to have the an to connect the two verbs. An. Do you want to eat? Ta'kuluna. Wa tashrabuna. Right. جاء ضيوف إلى بيتي وقلت لهم هل تريدون أن تأكلون وتشربون. Now there's two mistakes here. أن is من حروف النسب ينصب الفاعل. Right? أن من حروف النسب ينصب.
We need to get used to that term. Yansubu. What does yansubu mean? It makes mansoob. Yansubu al-fa'ila. Sorry, not al-fa'ila. Al-fi'la. Yansubu al-fi'la. It makes mansoob the fi'l. Is the fi'lun mansubun?
La.
No. It's marfu'un. Here, the fi'lun is marfu'un, isn't it, Shabazz? And what's the indicator? What's the alamatun that ta'kuluna is marfu'un?
Wow.
The waw. That waw. Right? But it shouldn't be. It should, because it's preceded by an. So how do we render ta'kuluna mansubun?
Yeah, with the vowels.
A ya with the waw is? No, Muhammad. We've done this. We mention it many times. You should always remember the ayah that we've been reading since we're children in Surah Al-Baqarah. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَنْ لَنْ تَفْعَلُوا لَنْ مِنْ حُرُوفِ النَّصْبِ.
Is it just one?
And min harufin nasbi. So what does it do to ta'kuluna?
Drops the noon.
Drops the noon.
Put them out there. Alif.
And we place an alif there for the purpose of writing and not pronunciation. And ta'kulu. Now, the waw al-ataf. What does the waw al-ataf do? What's its function? There's two parts, isn't there? Waw al-ataf. Well, there's three parts actually. There's the harf al-ataf, which in this case is the waw, isn't there? There's the waw, which is the harf al-ataf. That's the waw. Right, but we better move it further over here. And the waw is here. That's a harf al-ataf. Al-harfu. Then we have, Ya Muhammad, the ma'tufun alayhi. Ma'tufun alayhi. Which one is a ma'tufun alayhi here?
Tashrabuna.
No, Ya Muhammad.
Isn't that the one that comes after the wow?
The one that comes before.
Oh, that one.
Ta'kulu. Ta'kulu. And then we have the ma'tufun. What's a ma'tufun? Tashrabuna. Now, what is the function of the waw al-ataf? Muhammad, it does two things, doesn't it? What's its function?
It's joining them.
To connect.
Yeah.
Tashrabuna to ta'kalu. To connect the ma'tufun to the ma'tufun alayhi. But that's its function, and what does it give rise to? What's the result?
They have to be the same.
In what two matters? And the i'rabun and the hukmun.
The ending.
So the i'rabun is tashrabuna like ta'kulu? No. So how should it be?
You take the noon off and put the alif.
Right, so we have to take the noon off here and we have to place the alif. Wa tashrabu. Right? So now it matches in the i'rabun and it matches in the hukmun. What is the function of wa tashrabu? Hal turiduna an ta'kulu. It follows the an, right? To convey the meaning of you eat. So it is, do you want to eat? And meaning, do you want to drink? So without having to say, وهل تريدون أن تشربوا, we just say وتشربوا.
Yeah.
Right? So that is our sentence. جاء ضيوف إلى بيتي وقلت لهم هل تريدون أن تأكلوا وتشربوا. Right? So back to the text therefore, the next sentences. وسكتت الأصنام لأنها حجارة لا تنطق. Right. تنطق. وسكت. What does sakata mean? Sukut. You hear it, particularly in relation to children when the teacher says uskut.
Sit down.
Quiet.
Be quiet.
Be quiet.
So sakata means
they remain quiet.
He was quiet. Sakatat means
she was quiet. Single.
Right, she was quiet. So this takes a kasra. Ordinarily it's a sukoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in order to connect. Right. وَسَكَتَتِ الْأَصْنَامِ
No.
وَسَكَتَتِ الْأَصْنَامِ Mu. Because it's a fa'il. It's the doer. Right? Al-Asnamu is the doer.
It's the thing that was quiet.
Right? So the fa'ilun is al-Asnamu, therefore it's a marfu'un. وَسَكَتَتِ الْأَصْنَامُ The idols were quiet. لِأَنَّهَا حِجَارَةٌ. Right? This is interesting. We've done لِأَنَّهَا. Right? لِأَنَّهَا is from إِنَّ وَأَخَوَاتُهَا, remember? لِأَنَّ. So we have لِأَنَّ. It's from إِنَّ وَأَخَوَاتُهَا. And what follows is ismu inna, which here is ismu li'anna, ismu and khabaru. Khabaru inna. But here it's li'anna. Right? So the ismu inna is mansubun. The ismu inna is always mansubun. Ha. Here it's ha. The damirun muttasilun ha. Now, is ha mansubun?
No, that's it.
No, it's not. It's not mansubun. Because there's a sukoon on there. Ha. Right? So we say ha is mabniyun ala sakuni. So if, remember now, ha is mabniyun ala sakuni, and it's ismu inna, or li'anna in this instance, and it has to be mansubun, what do we say about ha?
It's assumed.
No, we'd stop using assumed now, Muhammad. Say it. It's either
Taqdeer.
right. Who thinks it's al-lafzi? Who thinks it's mansubun al-lafzi?
It's not present.
It's clearly not. Who thinks it's mansubun al-taqdiri?
There's a hindrance.
You just said that, Muhammad, when you said assume. So is it mansubun fi mahall nasb?
No, I said taqdeeri because I think there's a hindrance there.
I'll go with the second.
What's the hindrance? It's a mabaniyun. It's a mabaniyun ala sakun. It's always a mabaniyun ala sakun. It's a damirun.
Then it's al-mahalli.
Right. So we say it is damirun muttasilun mabaniyun ala sakun fi mahalli nasbin ismu inna. Right? So we'll say it again. It is damirun muttasilun. This is how we're going to. It's a damirun muttasilun. It's mabaniyun ala sakuni.
في محل.
Right? Fi mahalli nasbin. And then what actually is it? Ismu inna. Right? That's how you say it properly. So not that difficult, really, when you think about it. And you know it all. You just need to connect it. Right? So if that's the ismu inna, what is a khabaru inna? The rest of it. Hijaratun la tantiqu. Right? Actually, it's not. I don't believe it is the rest of it. I believe it's just hijaratun. The reason being is hijaratun. Khabaru inna is always marfu'un, and it is marfu'un. I believe that is hijaratun here. Right? We can check this, but I believe it's hijaratun, it's khabru inna. So what therefore is la tantiku? La tantiku.
Is it another
No.
It is, but what is the relationship between la tantiku and hijaratun? If you were to describe the connection or the relationship between la tantiku and hijara, right? Sorry. First of all, is it clear what this means? وَسَكَتَتِ الْأَصْنَامُ. The idols were silent. لأنها because they. Ha refers back to al-sanamu.
So then,
لأنها, why? لأنها hijaratun.
the stone.
They're stone.
لا تنطق.
La tantiqu. So, what is the relationship between la tantiqu and hijaratun? In terms of, not the grammatical analysis here, but in terms of actually, what is it? If you say hijaratun, la tantiqu, what are you saying about hijaratun?
What does tantiku mean again?
Sorry. Tantiqu means actually it means she speaks. From nataqa. Nataqa means he speaks. Nataqa. Right? Tantiqu means she's speaking. La tantiqu means she doesn't speak.
What's past tense for nataqa?
It is nataqa is the past tense.
Then ينطق then تنطق.
Oh, he's speaking her.
Nataqa, he spoke.
Then ينطق.
Yantiqu,
He speaks. Then تنطق.
the ayah, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْحَوَى.
وما يقول طغي.
Right? Nataqa. Tantiqu, she is speaking. So back to the point. What's the connection between la tantiqu and hijaratun? It's a description.
Sifa.
It's a sifatun.
Hijara.
So know that in Arabic, a sifatun can comprise of what is a jumlatul fi'liyah. Right? Muhammad? That's a sifatun. Not being able to speak is a sifatun of
Hijara.
hijaratun. Right?
Why did you say Jumlatul Fi'liyah? I thought Hijaratum meant stone.
Stone. La tantiku. Tantiku. Tantiku is
She doesn't speak.
she speaks.
Allah.
Right? Where's the fa'ilun in tantiku? No. It's mustatir. It's hidden. Taqdiruhu. What's its taqdiruhu? It's assumed to be?
Here.
Here, yeah.
It's assumed to be here. Right? Hijaratun la tantiqu. So, ordinarily, we have looked at adjectives or sifatun in terms of single ismuns, right? So, hijaratun, hijaratun. How could we describe hijaratun? Thaqilatun. Thaqilatun, right? What does thaqilatun mean?
Heavy.
Heavy. Hijaratun kabiratun. Right? Hijaratun khafifatun, and so on and so forth. Here we have an example of where the sifatun of hijaratun is actually a sentence. Right, Shabazz, you look confused. It's not that confusing, really.
How is it a sentence? It's
So-
because it's just that it's from Hijaratun.
Yeah, but why is that a sentence? Because,
Did you say it was a Jumlatul Fi'liyah?
yeah, it's a jumlatul fi'liyah. We have tantiqu here. Tantiqu. Right? In order for you to have a jumlatul fi'liyah, you have to have two parts are required. The fi'lun, the fa'ilun. The fi'lun is here. What is the fa'ilun?
Here.
Here. But here isn't there, is it? It's assumed to be there. Right? Here. Tantiqu here. Right? La is linnafi, to negate.
So that
Right, now, the other issue is that this verb, nataqa, there's two types of verbs in Arabic, generally, right? We'll have a separate lesson on this. There's two types of verb, generally. One is called muta'addi, and the other is called lazim. In English, we refer that as being transitive and intransitive, right? Which doesn't really help in most instances. But muta'addiyun, right? That word muta'addi, muta'addi. In fact, it's just like that. Muta'addi. That and lazim. Lazim. Lazimun and muta'addi. Now, muta'addi is from the verb ta'adda. Ta'adda means to transgress. Right, so it does actually make sense in Arabic, because muta'addi means transgressing. And what you're saying is that where you have a verb whose action goes beyond the doer, right? then you said that that is a muta'addi. Where you have a verb that doesn't go beyond the doer, then you said that that's a lazim. What does that mean, going beyond the doer? It means where the effect of that action falls upon somebody else. Right? So for example, a verb which is muta'addi is ra'aytu. Right? Well, what does ra'aytu mean? I saw. Right? Ra'aytu, I saw. If you say ra'aytu, I saw, what are you waiting to hear next? What did you see? So my ru'ya, my seeing, goes beyond me and falls upon the thing that I saw. Right? It goes beyond me and it falls upon the thing that I saw. Other verbs don't require an object. Right? Such as nama. Right? Nama, such as qama, he stood up, he slept, and so on and so forth. They don't require a direct object, so they're called lazimun. Now, that in general is the distinction between the types of verbs. Then they go into lots of other different categories that we'll see, inshallah. But the point is here, nataqa, he spoke.
Something.
What?
He spoke about something.
No, nataqa is just to speak.
Yeah.
You don't. I can see that you might think, well, you're waiting to hear what he spoke, but you can say in English, can't you? He spoke. Right? You're not waiting to hear. You know that he said something. Right? Similarly, nataqa in Arabic is also lazim. It doesn't require a direct object. Which is why la tantiqu here is a complete sentence. But it is a description of hijaratun. Right? It's just to be aware that you can have a description that comprises of a sentence, a jumlatul fi'liyah, that refers back to something that's already been mentioned, like here. Right. Any questions?
Well, what?
Yes, Muhammad.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is asnamu, is it
Al-sanamu.
is it a female word?
Is al-sanamu female?
Because I thought idols was female, but it wasn't shown.
Sanamun
Singular.
is singular, and it means
Idol.
an idol.
An idol.
Right? And sanamun is a male word.
Word, yeah.
Al-sanamu
It's plural.
or as-sanamun is plural. It's still a male
Word.
word. Now Muhammad is asking, you're thinking, why are we using a single female verb to refer to al-sanamu? And the reason is,
Inanimate object. So is it considered as a single?
it's an inanimate object, ya Muhammad. And when you have an inanimate object, such as sanamun or qalamun, in fact we mentioned this example a few days ago, then it's treated as
single female.
a single female. Which is why we say sakatat al-sanamu. Why it's referred to as ha li'annaha.
Okay, no, because I remember somebody saying that asnamun is always female, but I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm wrong.
As far as I'm aware, Sanamun is a male word.
No time I put that.
Because the idols are always female or something like that.
Oh.
But I could be wrong.
No, probably he's saying that the shape of the eye is most of the female shape.
Wallahu alam, I don't know. I mean, we could check, but as far as I remember, it's male. اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.